My next guest, B.D. Hyman, is Bette Davis' only natural child. She led the kind of a life, again, that most people only dream of. She was very, very close to her mother, which is interesting, while she was growing up. But that all changed when her marriage came around, and Bette Davis decided that things were just going to be different. When Bette Davis died, you were estranged from your mother, weren't you?
Yes.
So what happened? Unlike Christina and Gary, you had a good early formative time.
Well, I mean, I was living with a wacko, neurotic movie star.
Yes.
So we have to take that into consideration.
Yeah.
So within those parameters, I had a terrific childhood. I didn't really have a childhood. Mother took me all around the world with her. I had a tutor who traveled with us because it was too inconvenient for her to have me in school. And I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
That was great. She was a great star. I was her kid. That was fine. I got to go places, do things, meet people.
And what
No
happened?
problem. But you see, during my growing up, we fought. I had a nasty stepfather. I had some stuff, but everybody has stuff they deal with. But her problem with me didn't begin until her fantasy met the fact that I wasn't the person that she imagined I was, that I wasn't going to be her devoted slave for my whole life.
And her little girl.
Her little girl forever. And I was going to obviously have a marriage that worked. See, she was thrilled when I got married. And she was actually on very safe ground, because from the outside looking in, my marriage didn't have a shot. I was 16, a Hollywood brat. I was marrying this cultured Englishman who was 30, who incidentally was the youngest guy I dated in a year. Tell you about my life.
Right.
Yeah. And so she was secure. She was secure. Oh, yeah, it was lots of fun. And that to me was normal. This was cool. But I was very, very blessed. I met a fantastic guy who I've now been married to for 28 years.
Still fit same
and
husband.
he is just the neatest person I know.
So the marriage worked.
Great.
Right.
Well, that was Mother's problem. The marriage worked. And not only that, but he married me in spite of her, not because of her. He was not impressed with this lady. His comment about my mother was, she's the rudest actress I've met in Hollywood. And I've met a lot of rude ones.
Right.
You know, he was in the film production business. Right. And so he was far from impressed by her.
So what started to go wrong?
What started to go wrong was that I had a life that I loved, and I continued to live that life. And then I started to have children who I loved. And Mother, very, very point blank, would say to me, you know, I am going to destroy your kids, so your husband is going to have to take those kids and get them away from you, and I'm going to have you back, lady. You're mine.
She would say that to
Oh,
you.
yeah. Oh, yeah. You're mine. And so her hatred and her resentment of my husband and children was just massive. Now, I was married for 20 years when I wrote my book.
And you wrote your book, unlike that.
20 years.
She was alive.
Yes, I did.
Why?
Because I had to get this lady out of my life. She was destroying my children. And the only way I could do it was to do something so public that she would go away. And that's exactly what she did.
Children?
It's very hard to explain. You know, it would take hours. But she would do to them a lot of the things that I hear Christina and Gary describing. She would beg, for instance, to have them spend the night with her. She wanted to get to know her grandsons. And she would absolutely beg to have them. And then she would terrorize them. She would attack them. She would hit them. She told me that I was being much too soft for my younger son. I was going to turn him into a fag. He needed to be toughened up. And this is a very sensitive, sweet little kid who you scowled at him and you might as well have spanked him. Right. You know, and so that was her plan. And because I loved them, she couldn't handle it.
We have your son, one of your sons, Justin. Can we bring him out? Does he remember these memories?
Yes, he does.
Justin,
vividly.
are you around?
He's quite a young man, too.
Way too tall. Hello. How old are you? 14. Oh, so Justin, all right. And you look like your mom, by the way, may I say. That's
maybe a good thing, maybe not. You never know.
Well, maybe not. It's a good thing, trust me. Let me ask you, do you remember your grandmother?
Yeah, vividly.
And was she terrible?
She was sadistic. I mean, she threw me into a room once because I wouldn't eat my dinner because I was so upset when I was 5 because my mom and dad went out for dinner. So my brother took her by the collar and said, ever touch my brother again and I'll kill you.
His brother's 6'5".
I was grateful for her because she came out to about here on him.
So she was just very... What is it? Here are 3 people... Was your mother also a drinker?
Yeah.
What is it with this whole thing? Is it that they came out of such a hard background?
She had a mother and a father. They were divorced when she was fairly young, but that's, you know, no big thing, no messy divorce. She and her sister and her mother, and she went into the theater.
But I don't think... let me ask you, the last time you spoke to your mother, Bette Davis...
Last time I spoke to her was... oh, no. No, she commanded me to fly to New York to sort this whole thing out. We were living in the Bahamas, and I said, you know, actually, she didn't want to sort it out, I did. She wanted me to come to New York and pretend nothing had happened, and I said, we have lots to talk about. She said, we have nothing to talk about. I said, well, then I'm not coming.
Did you go to the funeral?
No, there was no point.
What about you, Justin? Were you sorry you didn't go to your grandmother's funeral?
Not at all. If my mom had gone, I wouldn't have. It's just, I had no interest in it at all.
Somebody told me she did a terrible thing with a poker with you.
Oh, yeah. I was about 6½, and she got a red-hot fire poker out of the fireplace and threatened me with it about that far from my nose.
Did you say, Grandma, you're nuts?
Yeah.
Very fast.
I was kind of like, Grandma, you're nuts. Leave me alone.
Mother didn't leave very much, but she did give me the honor of formally disinheriting me. And her grandsons. You know, so that was, the National Enquirer tried to make a lot out of that, and they didn't get too far with it.
But you're all functioning now, thank God.
Yeah.
What are you doing now? I mean, you've moved ahead in your life.
I'm a sporting artist.
Yes.
I do paintings, mostly of equestrian scenes. I do hunt scenes. I do commissions of people on their horses, on their front lawns, and I love oil painting. I've been trained in it, and that's what I'm doing full-time now.